Welcome to Hero Villains. What do you think about Sentry Void versus Dr. Manhattan? Two entities who have each faced and overwhelmed entire teams of the most powerful superheroes on their own. Two embodiments of absolute power, but in completely different ways. One is the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns combined with the dark specter of destruction, an entity that has torn gods apart and gone toe-to-toe with World War Hulk, but is also the prison containing a shadow capable of warping reality and erasing everything with a single thought. Robert Reynolds, the Sentry, and Void. The other is an entity that has transcended the very concept of humanity and become an omniscient, omnipotent god, capable of seeing the past, present, and future simultaneously, capable of creating and destroying matter at the quantum level, a being who once manipulated the entire Cold War by himself and witnessed the birth and death of the universe. Dr. Manhattan. When the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns clashes with the power of the universe itself, when inner madness collides with the absolute stillness of the quantum, who will be the last one standing?
Sentry Void is the dark side, the destructive alter ego hidden within Robert Reynolds, the hero known as Sentry. Robert Reynolds was once an ordinary man, an addict living in despair and self-loathing. However, everything changed when he drank a super soldier serum, a variation of the formula that created Captain America, transforming him into an entity possessing power equivalent to 1,000,000 exploding suns. This power transformed Robert into Sentry, the most powerful hero Earth had ever known, an entity capable of tearing molecules apart, flying at the speed of light, and withstanding attacks powerful enough to destroy entire planets. Every time Robert used the power of Sentry, a dark entity known as Void grew stronger within him. Void is not an external enemy, nor is he a parasite or an evil spirit possessing him. Void is Robert himself, everything he hates about himself, his fear, self-loathing, and desire for destruction that he desperately tries to bury. Void is the inseparable dark side of Sentry, just as darkness cannot exist without light. And it is this symbiotic relationship that makes Void so terrifying, because Void cannot be destroyed without destroying Sentry himself, and Sentry cannot be destroyed without completely unleashing Void. Sentry possesses one of the most difficult to define sources of power, nearly omnipotent, immortal, and possessing strength far beyond normal limits, with a connection between Sentry and Void, also known as the Void. Void has repeatedly demonstrated the ability to threaten and destroy entire universes, making him one of the most dangerous entities Sentry has ever had to face. In his Void or Death Seed Sentry state, Sentry once defeated Thor without needing to use his full power. However, his power can vary dramatically depending on whether Sentry or Void is controlling the body. When Sentry is in control, he can unleash energy with terrifying intensity, manipulate matter, affect reality to a certain degree, and use various other supernatural abilities. Void possesses similar abilities, but manifests them in a far more terrifying way. He can shapeshift, create seemingly limitless tentacles, and invade the minds of his opponents with illusions inspired by painful memories from their past. This makes Void dangerous not only physically, but also capable of destroying his opponent's psyche, because the two are ultimately opposite sides of the same source of energy. And Sentry still has certain limitations. This contradiction makes it particularly difficult to determine his exact power level. Sentry has been able to fight some of the strongest versions of Hulk, and has still never displayed his full potential. His power often fluctuates because of his unstable mental state, causing his abilities to constantly vary. Void is usually the direct factor behind these fluctuations, causing Sentry's power to sometimes surge to a level that is almost impossible to control, while at other times it decreases significantly. If Sentry were completely free from all psychological limitations and no longer affected by Void, his potential could reach an extremely astonishing level. At that point, placing Sentry alongside powerful entities such as Beyonder would no longer be such a far-fetched comparison. Sentry has demonstrated power far beyond most top-tier warriors. He directly fought and defeated Ares, while also effortlessly taking down Iron Man when Tony Stark was using the Extremis armor. During his confrontation with Worldbreaker Hulk, Sentry was still able to maintain a stalemate even though his mental state was extremely unstable at the time. He also quickly defeated Terrax, a warrior who possesses tremendous power through the power of Galactus. In his Death Seed state, Sentry continued to demonstrate an astonishing level of power by defeating Thor, then directly stopping Mjolnir and enduring multiple powerful attacks from the God of Thunder. In his merged Sentry state, he easily knocked back Captain Marvel and Golden Thor, a weaker version of the original Thor. Sentry then continued to stalemate Avengers Thor in a direct confrontation, demonstrating that his physical strength and durability could rival those of Earth's most powerful warriors. Sentry also possesses the ability to affect and bend reality to a significant degree. His decision to separate himself from Void once had catastrophic consequences, resulting in the destruction of 2 dimensions. Sentry is the most powerful man on the planet, possessing power billions of times greater than that of an ordinary human. Some statements have even placed him above all the Avengers combined, and have gone so far as to claim that a single punch from Sentry carries power equivalent to Galactus. Even more notably, Sentry has been described as a threat powerful enough to potentially end the Civil War by destroying all the heroes involved or altering history to erase the event entirely. Some assessments have even placed Sentry's power above Scarlet Witch during the House of M era, despite the fact that Scarlet Witch had already created a massive upheaval affecting the entire multiverse through the words "No more mutants." Sentry has also fought Galactus in a confrontation that was described as ending in a stalemate. Not only does he possess immense physical strength, but he also has terrifying telepathic abilities. When facing Super Adaptoid, Sentry directly brought Void into her mind, causing her to be defeated from within. This proves that Sentry's power is not limited to physical strength, but also includes mental attacks and energy manipulation. Even while weakened, Sentry was still able to resist the Collective, a group that had previously defeated Ms. Marvel with ease while she was in her binary state. Nate Gray also once implied that he could lose if he had to face Sentry, despite Nate Gray's power being described as comparable to the Phoenix. This is an especially noteworthy detail because Nate Gray possesses psychic abilities and reality manipulation on a level among the most powerful in Marvel. Sentry's ability to absorb and withstand immense amounts of power was also demonstrated during his encounter with Absorbing Man. Sentry's enormous energy overwhelmed Absorbing Man, even though he possessed the ability to absorb the power of Odin. Odin himself is described as a supreme god with enough power to destroy a multiverse or create an entirely new one. Therefore, the fact that Sentry caused Absorbing Man to lose control of the energy he had absorbed demonstrates that the scale of Sentry's power may extend far beyond conventional limits. One of Sentry's most remarkable feats is his ability to temporarily hold back Celestial Exotar. This is a cosmic entity with an immense level of power, so much so that Rogue was unable to stop him even after absorbing the energy of more than 100 heroes. Void possesses the ability to manipulate matter at the molecular level, allowing him to tear anything apart into its constituent atoms. He once tore Ares, the god of war of Olympus, in half with his bare hands. He has also fought Worldbreaker Hulk without backing down. He once defeated numerous of Earth's most powerful heroes during the Siege event, when Norman Osborn exploited Sentry's loss of control to completely unleash Void. Void can alter the atomic structure of any matter he touches, turning metal into vapor, transforming air into poison, or even reducing an enemy's own body into harmless fragments. This ability works almost instantaneously, leaving enemies without molecular level protection completely helpless against Void. Furthermore, Void can create dark energy fields, regions of space where the laws of physics are distorted and all life is drained away. These energy fields can expand to planetary scale, turning an entire world into a dead land within seconds. Void has also faced the Fantastic Four on numerous occasions. During one encounter, Void nearly destroyed the entire team, tearing apart Iron Man's armor, shattering Invisible Woman's force field, and throwing Thing through multiple buildings. Reed Richards, with his superior intellect, had to spend several days figuring out how to deal with Void, eventually concluding that the only way to defeat Void was to separate him from Sentry. However, Sentry Void is not without weaknesses. His most critical weakness lies in his connection to Robert Reynolds. Void cannot exist independently without Sentry, and Sentry cannot exist without carrying Void with him. If there were some way to separate these two personalities, Void would lose his source of power and become significantly weaker.
I truly hope you will subscribe to the channel. It would help us tremendously, and you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Now, let us move on to Dr. Manhattan, the omnipotent quantum entity. Dr. Manhattan, whose real name is John Osterman, is one of the most complex and powerful characters. John Osterman was originally a nuclear physicist working for the United States government. However, a laboratory accident caused his body to be completely disintegrated at the atomic level. But instead of dying, John reconstructed himself from the most fundamental particles of the universe. And when he returned, he was no longer human. He had become Dr. Manhattan, a quantum entity capable of manipulating matter at the subatomic level, perceiving every moment of time simultaneously and existing in multiple places at once. When John Osterman became Dr. Manhattan, he did not lose his memories or intelligence, but he lost his ability to emotionally connect with humanity. He sees everything, knows everything in advance, and because of that, he no longer feels surprise, no longer feels hope, and no longer feels fear. Time to Dr. Manhattan is not a linear flow, but a panoramic view in which the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. He sees his own death at the same time as the moment of his birth, sees every conversation before it happens, and sees every outcome before every choice is made. This makes him distant, cold, and increasingly disconnected from humanity. Dr. Manhattan's power is limitless within the scope of his universe. He can manipulate matter at the subatomic level, meaning he can alter the fundamental structure of anything that exists. He can turn air into gold, turn water into fire, transform a human body into vapor, or create life from nothing. This ability is not limited by any laws of physics, because Dr. Manhattan operates at the level where the laws of physics are written. He does not follow the rules. He is the one who writes the rules. Dr. Manhattan's perception of time is one of his most terrifying abilities. He does not simply see the future, he experiences it simultaneously with the present. To him, nothing is unexpected and nothing is unpredictable. He knows every attack before it is launched, knows every strategy before it is conceived, and knows every outcome before the battle even begins. This makes defeating Dr. Manhattan through strategy or surprise impossible because he already knows everything that will happen. Dr. Manhattan's ability to teleport allows him to appear anywhere in the universe or even in other dimensions, with nothing more than a thought. He can create multiple copies of himself, with each copy possessing the full power and awareness of the original. He can change the size of his body from the subatomic level to the scale of the universe, can fly at speeds far beyond the speed of light, and can exist in any environment from the vacuum of space to the cores of stars. During the DC Rebirth event, and especially in Doomsday Clock, Dr. Manhattan's power was expanded to an entirely new level. He was the entity who manipulated the entire timeline of the DC universe, creating the New 52 by altering the fundamental structure of reality. He experimented with the multiverse, creating and erasing timelines, and even confronted Superman, the symbol of hope and power in the universe. In Doomsday Clock, Dr. Manhattan proved that he could neutralize Superman's powers, alter the history of the entire multiverse, and create completely new realities through sheer will. Dr. Manhattan does not fight in the traditional sense. He does not punch, kick, or fire energy blasts. Instead, he simply changes the structure of reality surrounding his enemy. He can turn the ground beneath an opponent into a vacuum, transform the air around them into poison, or simply disintegrate their body into fundamental particles. No force field can protect against subatomic manipulation, no speed can help evade an opponent who already knows every action that will be taken, and no amount of physical strength can resist being disintegrated at the atomic level. In Watchmen, when the United States government attempted to control or destroy him, Dr. Manhattan simply teleported to Mars and refused to return. No human weapon can touch him, and no strategy can deceive someone who already knows everything. In a confrontation with Ozymandias, who is considered the smartest man in the world, Dr. Manhattan effortlessly neutralized every plan and attack. Dr. Manhattan has also confronted Superman and the Justice League. During this battle, he neutralized Superman's powers, altered the structure of the solar energy Superman absorbed, and created alternate realities that caused the heroes to question their very own existence. The battle only ended when Superman, through his compassion and faith in the inherent goodness of humanity, reached the remaining part of Dr. Manhattan's humanity. Dr. Manhattan has also confronted other cosmic entities. He interacted with the Spectre, the embodiment of divine judgment, and with the Presence, the supreme entity of the DC universe. Although he did not directly fight these entities, Dr. Manhattan demonstrated that he could manipulate the structure of reality to such an extent that even cosmic entities had to proceed with caution. He altered timelines, created and erased universes, and even challenged the will of the Presence by creating realities that existed beyond the Creator's plans. However, Dr. Manhattan is not without weaknesses. His greatest weakness lies within his own omnipotence. When you know everything in advance, when you see every possible outcome before it happens, you lose the ability to feel surprise, you lose the ability to feel hope, and you lose the reason to act. Dr. Manhattan often falls into a state of apathy, showing little concern for the outcome of any battle because he already knows how it will end. This indifference sometimes causes him not to react, not to defend himself, and to allow his enemies to create unexpected opportunities. And now, it is time for the direct comparison and battle analysis. This is one of the most unpredictable and fascinating battles where two nearly omnipotent entities face each other. Sentry Void possesses overwhelming physical strength and terrifying destructive power. He can charge in with punches carrying the power of 1,000,000 suns, and Void can warp reality to attack. However, Dr. Manhattan has one advantage that Sentry Void cannot overcome: omniscience. Manhattan knows every action Sentry Void is going to take. He knows which direction Sentry Void will charge from, what attack he will unleash, and what powers he will use. He can evade every attack, or restructure his own body to neutralize them. While Sentry Void fights through instinct and chaos, Manhattan fights through calculation and absolute precision. When it comes to reality manipulation, both possess the ability to manipulate reality, but in different ways. Void warps reality through destruction and chaos. He creates cracks in reality, distorted regions of space, and psychic attacks. But Void's manipulation is instinctive, without precise control. In contrast, Dr. Manhattan manipulates reality at the quantum level with absolute precision. He can analyze and understand the nature of everything, including Void's powers. He can reconstruct areas of reality distorted by Void, and even neutralize Void's attacks by manipulating the very quantum particles that compose them. But Robert Reynolds' mind is a fortress, though it is a fortress that has been severely damaged. He suffers from schizophrenia, depression, and severe anxiety. He is constantly forced to battle the monster within himself, Void. To an omniscient entity like Dr. Manhattan, Sentry Void's mind is an open book. Manhattan does not need to launch a psychic attack. He only needs to know that Robert Reynolds' mind is a chaotic battlefield, and he can exploit that weakness. He can say things that make Robert doubt himself, cause Void to rise, and make the entire mental structure of Sentry Void collapse from within. Meanwhile, Dr. Manhattan has no psychological weakness to exploit. He has transcended human emotions, and his mind is a perfect quantum structure that cannot be manipulated by fear or chaos. Battle. Sentry Void, acting on instinct, will immediately charge at Dr. Manhattan with a punch carrying the power of 1,000,000 suns. Void will engulf him, creating a zone of pure destruction and warping reality, but Dr. Manhattan already knows this is coming. He has seen this punch before it is even thrown. He will not dodge. He will simply stand still, and when the punch reaches him, he will restructure his body into a quantum energy form, allowing the punch to pass through him without causing any damage. Manhattan will begin his analysis. He will look into Robert Reynolds' mind and see the chaos, the fear, and the specter of Void. He will not need to attack, he will simply speak. He will tell Robert about his past, about his mistakes, about the truth that he was an addict who accidentally became a god. He will show Robert that Void is not a separate entity, but a part of himself, a shadow he will never be able to escape. Manhattan's words will cut into Robert's mind like knives. He will begin to doubt himself. Void will rise, not because he is being manipulated, but because Robert's own doubt has opened the door for him. Sentry Void will lose control, and his power will become chaotic, no longer governed by his will. Seizing the opportunity, Manhattan will use his quantum powers to restructure the surrounding reality, isolate Void, and neutralize its power. He will not kill Sentry Void. He will simply strip him of his power, or trap him in an endless time loop where he will be forced to battle his own shadow forever. This is a convincing victory for Dr. Manhattan. Sentry Void is a chaotic entity driven by emotion and instinct. He is powerful, but he cannot perfectly control his own abilities. He is a ticking time bomb, always at risk of exploding and destroying himself. Dr. Manhattan, by contrast, is an entity of absolute precision and control. He is omniscient, omnipotent, and has no psychological weakness to exploit. He does not need to fight through brute force. He only needs to use his intelligence and omniscience to manipulate Sentry Void's mind and allow Robert Reynolds' own madness to destroy him from within. The key factor is that Dr. Manhattan can see everything in advance. He knows every action Sentry Void will take, and he can plan every move with perfect precision. Sentry Void fights in the darkness, while Dr. Manhattan fights in the light of omniscience. And in a battle between darkness and light, light always wins.
And that concludes our analysis of the battle between the power of a million suns and the Dark Spectre, and the omniscient quantum entity. Let us know what you think by leaving a comment below. Are you on the side of the chaotic power of a million suns, or the silent omniscience of the quantum? If you enjoy epic battles between the most powerful omnipotent entities, do not forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss any of the next cosmic battles. That is all for today's video. Thank you very much.